So we're going to talk a little bit about human-centered design today. Before Whirlpool, I spent majority of my career in the automotive industry, making sure that the vehicle interiors are adapting to users' changing needs and making sure our technology in cars is better integrated with the big tech, Apples, Amazons, and Googles of the world. So today, we will focus on what does human-centered design mean and how can we really leverage that in this competitive environment. I'm going to start off with a question for all of you. How old do you think human-centered design is? As a discipline, as a topic?
As old as human race.
Yeah. You got there. This was not planned, by the way. But thank you. If you think about one of the oldest tools humans invented for survival, human-centered design was a part of that. Right? You have to make sure it's efficient, it holds well in your hand, it's balanced, and it does the job for you. So it's not a new phenomenon, but it has evolved over several decades, right? So let's take a trip down memory lane on where we've come from a product design standpoint. 20 plus years ago, when it came to automotive and product design in general, the focus was ergonomics and usability. Right. The main goal there was let's make sure our products are usable by 5th and 95th percentile humans based on anthropometric data. Then came digital interactions and touchscreens. And again, the focus was usability. Let's make sure that people don't have to go through users' manuals to actually learn our products. It should be intuitive. Then that became table stakes. Now we're at a phase where folks are focusing on delighters. How do we make sure there's wow factors in our products, and that's going to separate ourselves from the competitors? But again, that's becoming table stakes. So now in this competitive environment, how do we make sure that design is really separating ourselves and our companies and brands from the others? Today, we're in a situation like this where pretty much everyone is at the same level playing field and everybody's playing in that same concentrated marketplace. Right? On Amazon, it's 58 million products in kitchen and home category alone. That's incredible. That's a saturation point at almost every category. And how do we make sure that we are really separating ourselves from the others? That hinges on how do you leverage human-centered design, right? The challenges for brands today is also generational. The younger generations, the Gen Zs, are prioritizing value and end-to-end experience more than brand cachet and brand value, right? So loyalty isn't as big of a factor for this generation, and I don't blame them. If you look at what's happened over the last 10 years, at least in my industry, automotive and consumer electronics, there have been numerous mergers and acquisitions. And to be honest, I get it. How many different shapes, forms, and sizes can a solution be wrapped up into? You don't need that many brands. And if a brand doesn't have a reason to stand by itself, it gets acquired, merged, or it dies, right? So 70% of Gen Zs would pick a new brand over an existing one for their new product. This is because they're focused on value and end-to-end experience. That matters to them more than the brand cachet and the legacy. So what do we do? How does human-centered design in 2024 really empower us to build our brand, to position our brand in a way that is going to compete successfully with the others? It all comes down to the personal connection. It's about evoking the right emotions in your customers, understanding them, and really standing out in a different way. Think about a product or service that you guys have used in the past that makes you feel like this is absolutely built for me. It knows me, it has the right options, or even a restaurant where you go to and you feel like they have the right dietary options for my family and I, and you feel like they just get you, right? That's what it's all about today, is that gets you feeling that really makes you feel like, yes, this brand understands me, my needs, my struggles, and my aspirations. Now, I'm going to request you guys to go on an exercise with me. If you don't mind, just closing your eyes for a minute. And don't worry, it's not a meditation exercise, although I love meditation. Brittany's not here, but I would have given a shout out to Brittany. Just close your eyes and imagine that you have a conference coming up in a couple months and you need to book a ticket. One thing you're not going to compromise on is you need a direct flight. You're not going to compromise on that, right? What this means, unfortunately, is your airline of choice or the airline you have loyalty with doesn't have a straight direct flight. So you're going to have to choose a different airline. Now, imagine yourself going through the exercise of going onto their website or the app, booking the ticket, selecting your seat, checking in online a couple days prior, driving to the airport, checking in, security, gate, in-air experience, rear seat entertainment, arrival. And now think about the emotions you're going through that process. You have a little more curiosity over confidence because it's a new airline. You're willing to learn. You're curious about how their experience is. You have a little more excitement over familiarity. There's some anxiety because it's something new over calmness. And then you have some hope over efficiency that you would have with your current airline. And this example, you can open your eyes, by the way. Thank you. This example highlights how important it is for that new airline to win your vote of confidence, to make you feel that you were cared for. And it has a potential here to even make you switch over. Because if they really delight you and they win your business, there's a potential to make them switch over. And I was telling Karen before my talk that Marriott got me switched over from Hilton 10 years ago. Because it was a similar experience. I really loved Marriott, and now they've kept me in that experience because of their app and website, and it's a superior experience to any other hotel chain. So it all comes down to how you make the user feel. It's the emotional connection, making them feel like it's built for you, it knows you, and it really gets you. And how do you do that? That sounds like a monumental task, and it is. Don't be mistaken. It's hard. But the important part to remember is it's the deep understanding of the user's lifestyle. And I don't mean just journey mapping about that one task and specifically pertaining to your service or product, because that's one-dimensional, right? I'm talking about learning about their lifestyle, their struggles, their needs and aspirations. This is because when your user is interacting with your product or service, that's not the only thing on their minds. As we all know, as people with families and loved ones, we have multiple things running on our subconscious every time we're interacting with a product or service. So it's important that we understand your user's lifestyle in a holistic way. You map a 3D user journey versus a single dimensional, and then look at where does your product, your service sit in their lifestyle? How are you empowering them? How are you better supporting their lifestyle or enriching their lifestyle? And I'm going to talk about a couple examples from my team in the appliance industry and in the automotive industry, how we've been able to do that. And it wasn't easy, but we were able to do that. For example, the KitchenAid grain and rice cooker that was launched early this year. We learned 6 years ago that there was heightened awareness about global cuisines and awareness about benefits of grains and rice. So, and we looked at the market out there, and there weren't many products out there that really took the thinking out of the equation. All the products were traditional rice makers, and it really still left that one big hurdle out there, which was the liquid to grain ratio. It's always a guesswork, and it leads to inconsistent results. So we were able to think about it from our families and from our homeowner standpoints. And we know that they have multiple things on their minds every day. Why don't we do the thinking for them? So this product here, with the help of our tremendous genius engineering team, it dispenses the right amount of water depending on the grain you've selected and the weight of the grain. Gives you consistent results all the time. It does the thinking for you. Fits in their lifestyle, it supports their lifestyle, and really empowers them. Another one is from my time at Ford, where the Ford F-150 interior and the Ford e-Tourneo van, unfortunately this van is only sold in Europe, but as you can see, in the truck, your shifter stows flat, there's a flat work surface that slides in the center console. And we know our lives of our contractors and professionals who drive these is busy. Their interiors are not just for driving from A to B, but they also use their interior as a workspace, as an office space, and as a dining table. So how can we help them live comfortably? How can we design not just for the driving task, but also when you're stationary? So trip down the memory lane, we came from ergonomics, becoming table stakes, to usability, delight. And there's a little bit of an issue with the slide here, so it keeps you guessing where we are right now. But what I meant to highlight was adaptive and responsive. That's where we are right now, is the adaptive and responsive phase, where we're trying to adapt to the changing, evolving needs of our consumers and making sure digital experiences adapt with technologies like generative AI. And we're moving towards the predictive aspect of things. And I know this can sound a little creepy, but think of it in the most positive way. Right? If you are able to tap into the ecosystems that exist today, your biometrics through your phone and your watch, you are able to potentially learn about what the users may need from an emotional standpoint and get them in the desired mental state. So we could use that data in a positive way as well. So what the future holds is more tailored experiences to make sure that your products are living and growing with you. We want to make sure that experiences are intentional and they're multimodal. So in a car, for example, you saw the physical articulation of spaces, but think about your vehicle as a control environment where you have sound, you have haptics, temperature, olfactory, and displays and screens at your disposal, where automotive manufacturers could literally use those levers and use their smart operating system to put you in the right mental state. Whether you want to relax on your way back from work or you want to get psyched up for your meeting when you're going to work, right? You could really use these different levers and the stimuli to really put you in the right mental state. So that's what I see happening in the future. And then lastly, intelligent. Let's anticipate the needs of our users before they arise in the most ethical, in the most useful way. And of course, in order to move towards the future, we have to embrace technology, right? But what's important is we have to focus on developing sound user experience strategies first. You got to first understand, what does your business need, and especially what does your users need, and what exactly are they struggling with today, what their aspirations are, and then able to have a solid strategy that you can supercharge using AI or using any technology for that matter. What I see happening today is we're living in a world where the big tech is really pushing us to go technology first, right? I was talking to somebody today where technology, we're like cats running after a laser pointer. And this has been happening because we live in a world of technology and big tech. But the important thing is we understand our users, our customers, and have a strategy, and then use AI to seamlessly blend them together. The other piece is building trust through meaningful use of data. Let's tap into existing ecosystems to provide the most value. So this requires external partnerships with big tech to be able to do that. And lastly, I want to leave you guys with a thought that human-centered design needs to be a strategic imperative in your companies. I have, even in these conversations over the last couple of days, I've learned that in some companies, design lives under product, engineering, IT, etc. But I truly believe that a successful brand and a successful company is the one that has design, technology, and business working together as a trio. And that really empowers the designers, empowers each of those legs on the three-legged stool to really think about these user journeys and the lifestyles and support our users in the best way possible.